Hello racers, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, this is season 4 episode 7 of Mini-B on-road, in the continuing saga of taking what once was an RTR Mini-B, tuning it, testing it, and getting it on the podium of our Maritime Onroad Series race. As you can see, we got a lot on the bench, so let's get into it. Alright, well, here we are. Let's take a look at what we got on the bench today. Now, last race, episode 7 or episode 6, we broke the servo in the Mini-B, and that put us on the hind foot for the rest of the race day. One of these little Savoxes, as you can see, it's the SH0257 Metal Gear, if you can see that. So I was super disappointed. This failed. We ended up putting in a different servo. The servo saver was so weak, I had to wrap it with a tie wrap to make it actually steer straight. So it was a disaster. Took a couple qualifiers to get that fixed. And oddly enough, this is the second of those Savox servos that has failed me. So with that said, I went with the I think it's AGFRC, and this, as you can see, is the B13DLS. So this is the little high-speed servo. It has a 25-tooth servo horn. So with that, I was able to use this 25-tooth servo horn made by INJORA, but it's for the 1/16th Grom. So hopefully this 25-tooth servo saver will fit this little servo, and it should be good and tough because it's made for it'll fit on one of those Losi Nascars. So I think this combo is going to put me back in the driver's seat, literally and figuratively. Came with a little sticker sheet that they tossed in the bag for the INJORA. And if all that works out good, you see a good little got some anti-wear grease. So what I'm going to do is put the gear diff back in the car and use the anti-wear grease to use that as diff lube. Hearing good things about this. Apparently it makes a nice smooth diff that doesn't diff out, and that's exactly what I wanted. Anti-wear grease. If I get time, we'll do that. And somehow I got to come to the conclusion of this part right here. This little piece has been bothering me. I haven't really complained about it too much on the channel, but what happens, these are the RPM arms, and the RPM arms are ever so slightly thicker at the top and at the bottom, and you can see they don't fit completely through. This pin doesn't fit through there, and if you get a knock hard enough, what happens is that pin will pop out the back, and then you end up with this kind of moving around, and you lose all your steering capabilities. That has happened, at least 10 times in this series, and got to get an answer to that. So if anybody knows if there's a 2mm pin that I can use that's a little bit longer, we're going to do it. So let me get a chance to assemble my servo and my saver, install it in the car, and we'll get back and take a look, see how it turned out. Then we'll head to the track. See you in a minute. So here we are, racers. I just wanted to show a quick install here. I do have this servo put in. The brand seems to be AGFRC. I'm not 100% what the A01 up the top is, or if that's supposed to be AGFRC, or AGFRC. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But what I do know is the servo saver that I got says it's for the Grom. It looks like it's the Grom-11BK. You can see that it does not fit 100% straight. Like straight across would be something like this. You can see the thing in the background, it's at a slight angle. And what that slight angle will do is maybe make the steering a little inconsistent. I'm not 100% sure. So the option that you have in this situation is just to move this whole servo like back a bit. And to do that would probably require putting a few new screw holes in the bottom of the mount, which I'm not going to do. So the angle is very slight. What I'm going to do is drive it the way it is, and we'll think about maybe there's a different servo saver that could be used that has a slightly different offset, or I'm going to move those little mounts back. But I was very pleased with that particular servo because it is very quick. You can see on the front there it says it's 0.07 seconds, so which is incredibly fast. Now it also says it's high volt, and with my little hobby wing system it only gives out 5 volts on the BEC. So the idea between the ESC being very low voltage and a high volt speed control, it actually does work out to be pretty quick, but not super quick. Anyway, there's the update. Gotta finish buttoning this up, and then we're gonna hit the track. See you there. So here we are on track, racers. Thought I'd try a little different perspective and watch a few laps trackside. Watching a few corners, looking for anything obvious. And here we go as we go through the track. You can see me coming into view now. See, the car has very little grip at this point, and it over rotated and it tagged that corner right in the center of the track. Here we go around again. Orange and white car ahead of me. And you see the rear end is just no grip at this point. But the sweeper, as we came onto the straight, looked good. Back through the infield. A little bit of a looseness there. Turned in early and hit the corner. Back down the straight. Let's take a little watch here in the center. Car still a little bit loose in the rear for rotation. Let's take a look in the center of the track again. Not bad. So as the tires have warmed up, the car's working a little better. This is the last lap that we're going to see here. A little bit drifty still, but much better. Here we have that. Now here we are at the end of the straight. And what I wanted to see here was like the sweeper, and there the yellow car goes by, and this angle we can see it go by there, and through that center we see a left and a right corners. And here we go going by, we see the car leaning over, and through the center we see it going well. So from this perspective, this is Q3, and by this time I have the traction compound figured out. Just watch that. Here we go down the straight again, and now watch the center of the track. A little bit of push out to that gray section. Yep, through the center looks good. On power, pretty good, just as get through the corner. Through the straight, nice through there. Through the center, perfect. Now here we are, a main final, and we're just getting set up on the grid there. You can see that I'm just pulling into position now behind the green car, the yellow car there, center of the track, qualified third. So in Q2 I actually set the TQ, and then it was kind of weak, as you saw, a few bobbles. Q3 had a very good run, but still only good enough for third. Servo saver working perfect. Installed, set the endpoints, never thought about it again, so that's great. The chassis, that chassis that we installed, is in full flex mode with 2 side screws out for as much grip as I can get. And I also had a chance to put the gear diff in, and it has the Tamiya anti-wear grease in it, but it's a bit loose. Here we go. Now, starting third, my race thought is always just stick with the leaders. You can see us going down to the right, up through the center, down, back up to the center left, and under the bridge. So first few laps here, my goal was just to hang with that green car ahead of me. It's always very tentative. You don't want to cause a problem if you don't need to. And we go through the center, down under the bridge. So far, so good. Now, what I did notice is the car, see, watch as it goes through, it's a little drifty and then bindy. It's still not 100% grip. It's kind of the same what happened in Q2, that the very first few laps, tires weren't up to temp and all that tacky. Let's catch up with the car now. We are in the right, going through the center now. Up center left and onto the straight. Now what I noticed in the corner of my eye was that black car was slowly catching me. And what it seemed to be is that my car did have a little bit of a push in these little slow corners. You can see that the car binds up a little bit. So here we go through. So keep an eye on the center left loop. Let's see if it comes through here. That's the first place car. It kind of bobbles there, allowing the green car to go through for first, and that kind of tightened that up for second. So in my mind, it's game on. And just saw that that orange and blue car, he bobbled there in that top left corner. Let's watch him again, top left. He bobbled again. So I'm conscious of that, and I'm thinking, well, maybe the front tires on his car have tacked up a bit or more grip. And this time he did bobble again, and I managed to get by for second, but he's not gonna let me get away with that. See, a little back and forth there, slight contact, but we're able to continue. Down through the center middle, under the bridge, running second at this point with but my car rolled, kind of like overdrove that hairpin, hit the pipe and rolled it, so that spoiled it. And not only did I lose second place, I lost third, and now that black and white car, we're battling for the third position. So currently I'm in third. Black and white is really pushing hard. He's not letting me get away with this whatsoever. Onto the straight, going down to the into the right. But you can see that my car is pushing, and he really gains through those corners. Feet, a little bit of a tap. Bobble, he snuck by, so now I'm in fourth. He's third, so close to third there. Bottom right. He takes it wide, and I just happen to sneak by. So we're going hard here. There's no doubt about it that we want that third place position. It's going through a little bit of an awkward tumble there. With these open wheel cars, they just tangle and they flipped. So it was good respect there. He waited. He felt he was a bit aggressive, but it could have been just a, oh, but look in the center of the track. There's so many cars flipped at this point. As I say in Mini-B, you're never out of it. So as the dust settles, going under the bridge now, I'm in third place. The green car right behind me is the first place car, and the second place car is going under the bridge right now, the orange and blue. So far it's been a nail biter. A nail biter, exciting. So let's pick up the car here. So going under the bridge at the first place car right behind me, trying to put down some quick laps to catch that second place car. He's going onto the straight. I'm going onto the straight. Going through the infield. So watch the bottom right in this lap. Turned in early, tagged the corner, and that spoiled any gains that I had going. Fell back a little bit on the second place car. Take a look in the center of the track. That is the second place car. He needs a Marshall. Marshall's out there to flip him quickly. But that is game on once again. So chasing him down on the straight. He's going through. I'm going through. Under the bridge. About a straightaway lead. Through the infield. Going under the bridge now. Under the bridge. Might have gained a very short little bit. We're on the 10-second call. The Marshall came out, kind of blocked the view. We're on the final lap. Keep an eye in the center of the track. Second bobbles. See if I can gain. Marshall is out, and that is the end of the race. Race to the line. What a race. That's what racing's all about right there. Close racing, challenging for position. Congrats to all the racers. That was a great race. So like if you like this type of thing, comment if you have any tips or tricks, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.